Hey everybody, Gil here at Gray Man Prepping. Well, on this episode of Prepping in Private, I'm going to be talking to you about no purchase footprint, a way to help limit the way people can track you. Excuse me. All right, so a lot of people are worried about anybody knowing about anything they're doing, but they don't realize that a lot of things they're doing is putting all that information right out there for everybody to see. So I want to talk to you about ways that you can do to help protect your privacy when you're purchasing stuff for your preps. And not just stuff for your preps, just stuff in general. Okay, so let's see, get the thing going here, and we're going to shift over here. And we're going to look at this. So, no purchase footprint. Very hard to do in this day and age, since some places now are requiring some sort of electronic payment. They're refusing to accept cash. So there are certain things that because of the way things are going, you're going to have to be leaving some sort of footprint. But you might be able to get away with eliminating your footprints as far as your prepping goes. So let's take a look at what I got here. Okay, so obviously your purchases are not private. You are being tracked. You're being tracked by a bunch of different entities. All right, so you go to the grocery store, and you got that little card that gives you extra points off or price off on certain things you buy. Guess what? Once they scan that card, your entire purchase is locked in their computer. Other places like, so that's what we're going to be talking about here is the things that are locking you in, and the things that aren't. And it's not just one person there just hacking away, trying to find out everything they can about you. No, we're talking corporations. It's bigger than just someone just tracking you down here. Now, right now, well, you're on YouTube. Well, YouTube is owned by Google. Your browser is probably Google, and everything you do on Google is tracked. So you got to be, right there. Google's the big one, and there's no way to tell what they're doing behind closed doors of all the information they have on you. All right, now I have noticed this, in fact, that if I'm looking at something I've gone through Google, checking it out, and I see something there, I look at it, okay, cool, and I go to something else on Google. Example is I go to the I like to look at the comics, like the Sunday funnies, but the daily ones and stuff. I go to the one certain one, and sure enough, bam, bam, all these ads start popping up from something I was looking at on a Google search. So they're tracking what you're doing, putting stuff out there for you to look at. But the main thing is they're tracking you, and so if you go to buy something, ads start popping up elsewhere, which means they're selling that information off to other people. All right, now Google's not the only one doing stuff like this. All your social media, all that stuff is doing stuff. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all Pinterest, all these ones. You go on there and boom, it's like, how the heck did they know that? Well, there's a lot of ways they can track what you're doing. One of them isn't even listed up here. One is the company is a shopping one, and they have this AI which can control your doors and everything else. And that AI is on. You say something, ping, an ad pops up on your phone. You all know who I'm talking about on that one. But the thing is, some of the stuff, you're doing it to yourself. There's all these apps to help you get organized and do a budget and everything else and track your shipping and everything else and where you're buying it, what you spent. And guess what? They may say they're not selling your information, but all of a sudden some of the information gets out there. Makes you wonder, how'd that get out there if they're not selling it? There are a lot of online trackers that you may be using to find out, oh, when is my package coming in? Boom, 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 boom. Now you got 3 or 4 different organizations working on it, and it's out there. And, once it's out there, you're not going to stop it unless you stop using it. All right, paying for stuff. Google Pay. A lot of people are using Google Pay because it's so easy and convenient. Yeah, and Google knows exactly what you're doing with all your money. And it's not the only one. There's a whole bunch of them that are out there doing the same thing. Every time you transfer money, there's a record of it. And they're not deleting it like some photo sharing thing is supposed to be deleting it, which turns out they're not deleting it. They're still storing it on their servers. And there are a lot of states and actually credit cards on their companies on their own that if you use your credit card to purchase ammunition or a handgun or a rifle or anything else, they report that information to a certain federal agency who has no business knowing about it. So, and who knows who else they're sharing that information with. That, this person here has a gun, so we got him on our private corporate watch list now. Some states are trying to get laws passed that prohibit credit card companies from tracking or sharing information when you buy a firearm. Unfortunately, if you buy across state lines, that law does not apply to the other state where you're buying it from. So that's something else to be concerned about. Now, you're probably going to figure out when it says in club, which big box store this is. Every time you buy something there, every item on that receipt is kept in the computer under your membership. And because I know for a fact that when I buy certain things there, about a month later, it pops up, is it time to get some more of this? So they're tracking exactly what I'm buying, what you're buying, what everybody that buys there at that particular club. And it's not the only one doing it. Other ones are doing the same thing. They track exactly what you buy in the club and online. Yeah, grocery store reward cards. Yeah, they're tracking everything you're buying at the grocery store because it helps them to project what they're going to be needing to get. It's like, Joanne purchases this, this, and this every month. And this and this and this every week. So they're no, and when you get extra, they go, they're up in their supplies. I wonder why. So you need to keep your purchases quiet. And there are several ways that you can do that. Especially if you want to keep your purchases quiet on prepping items. Cash is king. If you don't use the rewards card and you pay cash, they have no idea who bought that stuff. Now, cash works only for certain things, for in-person transactions. And you really, you used to be able to go and get a money order and a money order get, and once it was done, it was gone. But everything's being tracked electronically now. All money orders are being tracked. So how are you going to do it? Well, there are certain gift cards you go in, you pay you buy it with cash. They don't know who bought it. and you can go out and buy stuff that they have no idea who it is. All they know is it was purchased with a gift card, which works especially good for ammunition if your state doesn't require you to fill out a bunch of paperwork for buying ammunition like California does. And one of the things is my youngest was getting, when he first got a job and stuff, he would go they would give him the check. He'd go to their bank, cash the check, get the money, go buy a refillable Visa card, and put a bunch of money on it. And he'd order stuff online, so they didn't know who was buying it. As a credit card, who was buying it. The company knew what was being purchased, so the company had his name, but the credit card company didn't. So that helped a little bit. So one of the things that for that I'll talk to you about that, how you can help eliminate that a little bit more as you go along. Now, the other one has that AI that turns on at the drop of a hat, has provided a way for you to limit certain things from being tracked to you. But to do this, you have to do something. I'm not advocating, I repeat, I'm not advocating that you go out and set up a fictitious or a nom de plume email account, and you use this nom de plume email account to set up an account on this company, so you can use gift cards to purchase stuff and send it to a locker and pick it up at the locker, where that way they don't know who really purchased it, what address it was going to. All they know is it went to a certain city. So there are ways, if you think outside the box, you can work around some of the ways that corporate America is tracking you. Now, one of the hints I can give you is don't drop offline all at once. Slowly whittle back your presence. Start with your prepping items. Start purchasing them with cash or gift cards, so it can't be tracked to you. And some people are finding out if they drop off all at once, all of a sudden, there's somebody following me around. What's going on? And I'm not saying which agency's probably doing that, but they, a Bureau of Incompetence probably. But one of the things, if you don't drop off all at once, you sort of cut back. The credit card companies and the banks aren't going to notice. Oh, geez, all of a sudden he's not doing anything. It's going to be like slowly going into it, and the pattern. And the pattern slowly builds in of you spending less money, and it doesn't send up any red flags. And of course, sometimes it helps just to keep a credit history of basic small stuff, of incidental stuff that doesn't lead to anyone thinking this person is a prepper. They're stockpiling food. They're stockpiling ammunition. They're stockpiling this. And so that's one way you can start limiting your online presence by retracting yourself from being online. Budget your offline footprint. That's something else you need to start figuring out. All right, if I'm going to be doing cash, how am I going to get the cash, and how am I going to do this? Well, at certain stores, if you don't use the rewards card and you're using your debit card, you can get cash back. And since all they know is that it's for a card, they don't have your name in the store to track you in the store, you just get cash back. And the banks really don't pay that much attention. You get $20 here, $40 there, $50 here. It's not, and you just slowly, shift that type of purchases, and then with that cash money, you buy your big bulks of food, ammunition, or other prepping supplies you need. But I create a budget. I would say, all right, this is how much I'm going to spend with a credit card. This is how much I'm going to write a check for. And this is what I'm going to buy with cash, or cash/gift cards that you paid cash for. All righty. So those are some of the ideas you have. More, if you have other ideas you want to share with people, please put it down in the comment section. And you can lay out more information about what you're doing to limit your online footprint where people can't track what it is you're purchasing. All right, I don't want to get into too much stuff. I want to give you a little bit of ideas to make you guys start thinking outside the box, but I don't want to send any red flags for the platform to go, oh, we need to pull this video down because they're giving away secrets. So, and yeah, I've heard of them actually doing that. So one of the things you need to think about is your budget. Always be thinking about your budget. What can you do to get stuff on sale, not paying with a credit card, or you can buy stuff with cash. And if you got a side hustle where you are, like selling eggs and getting the money from that, don't deposit that money in the bank. Keep that aside for your cash transactions. Someone wants to hire you to fix something or other, get cash. And don't use here, let me pay you on my Venmo or my Cash App or one of the other things. Don't use those, because those are actually being tracked now for the IRS. You get so many transactions a year. They go, oh, okay, he made this much money. We're going to charge him income tax on it. That's in the pipeline if they're not already doing it. All right, so hopefully I was able to give you some hints here to help you get yourself not quite so obvious in your purchases. And you're able to get you to do stuff in private and get your prepping done. And if you have any questions, like I said, put questions down in the comment section as well. And if I can't answer it, maybe somebody else will. Maybe someone else has already run into that and they have the answer for you. All right? So before I take off, I just want to remind you, stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps: water, food, medicine, clothing, skills. Add more skills so you can do those cash jobs and earn a little extra money on the side. All right. So before I take off, I'm going to put a link up here to my other channel, Camp Patton Family Compound, where I got a bunch of prepping videos over there. I'm going to put a link here to the Prepping for Beginners playlist up here. And I'm going to put another playlist down here you might be interested in as well. All right.